Books don't mix with water. A Percabeth High School AU, Part 16. It was the first day back to school, and it was safe to say that Percy was not happy about it. A lot had happened over the break, including a kiss with Annabeth, which was basically replaying in his mind over and over since it had happened. However, she didn't seem to want to talk about it, so Percy never brought it up, even though he really wanted to. Half the time when they were talking, Percy wanted to ask her how she felt about it, or if she wanted to do it again. But knowing Annabeth, she would beat him up if he asked. So instead, Percy settled for trying to appear like everything was normal, and then, dreaming about the kiss almost every night. Like a completely normal, not crazy person. As you do. Surprisingly confusing, and I had to watch like 4 videos online to figure out Percy, are you even listening to me right now? Annabeth asked. Percy blinked. Huh? What? Yes. Yes, Percy said, snapping out of his little daydream. Annabeth rolled her eyes at him. You're not. It's fine, though, she said. Walking faster to keep up with her, Percy tried his best to understand what Annabeth was talking about, but it was hard. She was a lot smarter than he was. No one had a doubt about that. However, when she started getting into theorems and philosophical stuff, his eyes glazed over in confusion. No, okay. I know that you were talking about the liberalism and idealism and stuff, Percy said. Annabeth blinked at him and looked blankly at him, and then proceeded to laugh. Okay, I appreciate you trying to listen and repeat what I'm telling you, but you barely know what you're saying, she said with a small smile. Percy looked away from her, blushing. I don't even think I can spell those words, he admitted. Again, Annabeth laughed. Her blonde curls bounced in the air. It's fine. I mean, you don't really need to know about them. Although, another book wouldn't hurt you, she said, waving her hands at his backpack, which she knew was filled with comic books. Percy gave her seal eyes and pouted, to which she looked away from and laughed at. Stop doing that. That makes me feel bad, she said. It's working, Percy cried happily. They stopped at their picnic bench, the one they practically claimed at the park every Friday after school. He was really enjoying the time with her. Not that it was rare at school. It was just... he liked his private time with her. Not that he'd ever admit that to anyone. Except maybe Grover. Percy had a feeling he already knew. Especially after pulling that Christmas stunt. He had no idea if he should have tackled his red-haired friend or thanked him profusely with lots of cookies. It was only too bad mistletoe was weird when it was up after Christmas, though Grover swore he saw Annabeth look Percy's way during the New Year's countdown. She probably didn't, but hey, Percy liked to think she did. A guy could dream. Percy tossed a bag of cookies her way. So, have you decided if you're going to join track yet? He asked, throwing his bag onto the table. Annabeth hummed and shrugged. Honestly, I'm leaning towards yes, but also, I don't want to run with Clarice again because that was a disaster, she said, looking towards the school and glaring. Percy nodded. Yeah, it's kind of like me and Jason. We may be best friends, but we can't be on the same basketball team. Too dominating, I guess. Percy shrugged. Annabeth's expression wrinkled into confusion, one blonde eyebrow quirked up high. You? Dominating? That doesn't sound right, she said in an amused voice. Percy grinned widely at her. Yep, surprisingly. I feel like, though, it's less of a me thing and more of a everyone thinks I know what I'm doing and that, yeah, sort of situation. Don't they know that you're always confused, though? You'd think they do, but nah, they just keep saying, oh, Percy should be captain, and I'm like, no, please, no. And they're like, yes, and then there's the people that get mad and are like, Jason. And then there's the whole argument between me and him, and we're trying to control the situation, and the sides are like, see, look, he should be captain, and it's all way too much for me. He said. Annabeth laughed and reached her arm out to flip his hair. Well, you're probably doing something right if they think you should lead, she said with a smile. Percy almost melted to the ground, but tried hard not to. Problem is, I don't really know what that thing is, he joked. They talked easily for a few more minutes before a soft gasp was heard and Percy and Annabeth snapped their heads towards the sound. Percy? Oh my God! Rachel! Percy shouted upon seeing the redhead. Rachel smiled widely at him. I didn't know you were back in town, the black-haired boy said, standing up. Rachel waved her hands in jazz hands. I'm here, she said brightly. You're back? I'm back,